So, one of the simplest yet most profound realizations that I have felt, recognized over the past year, is the power of presence, and how presence actually serves as the gateway, right, to recognizing the formless, the being. And so, in this video, we'll first discuss what presence truly is, or what it means to me at least, then explore how it serves as the gateway to being, to feeling the formless. Then we'll discuss why thinking kind of seems to be the default state that the mind goes to. And then lastly, we'll cover kind of practical, everyday tips that helped me, that can help you as well, to remind ourselves how to become present. Yes. So I'm Jana. May this content resonate with you and contribute to raising our collective consciousness in this world. So first we're going to start with what is presence, or at least what it means to me. I think presence means just simply accepting what is, accepting the here and now. Accepting that the here and now, the present moment, is the closest thing to reality that we can get to. That the past is a figment of our memory and the future a figment of our imagination. And so when this first, really sunk in for me, it was honestly a bit devastating at first, right? To realize, to recognize that most of my time was spent thinking and kind of escaping the second moment, either the present moment, either ruminating over the past or planning for the future. And it can be a bit devastating at first, but then it felt really liberating. So I believe that presence and consciousness go hand in hand. So what is consciousness? To me, I can do a whole separate video on what consciousness is in a bit more detail, but in short, to me, it means the awareness of being, right? Awareness of the formless, the being that is part of us, that is us. And one cannot be fully conscious, fully aware of the being without being present. So with that said, let's talk about how presence is the gateway to being. So what does that really mean? Well, one cannot fully be present and be caught up in thinking at the same time. I believe those two things are mutually exclusive. So how do thinking and consciousness relate? Well, to me, thinking is kind of like consciousness dreaming the dream of thought. Right? I believe that thinking, when you were caught up in thinking, we're kind of like zoning out or not fully present. It's the being that is us, its energy kind of being siphoned or used up to generate these thoughts, rather than being fully present. Now, this is not to say that thinking is inherently bad or that it shouldn't be done. It needs to be stopped altogether. No, I believe that there's a time and place for it. There's a reason why us beings are blessed with the ability to think in all of its forms, in reasoning, in problem solving, imagining. I believe it's protected us, and it's allowed us to evolve in many, many ways. But when it's constant, or when one believes that they are that voice in the mind, or when we start identifying with the thoughts, that's when it can get a bit destructive and create suffering, both for the thinker and for the beings around them. So now let's talk about why it seems like thinking is kind of the default state that our mind returns to, and it's linked to being kind of a safety mechanism. So it kind of seems like the mind's default state is thinking, constantly ruminating about the past, replaying scenarios, or planning ahead for the future, right? Thinking about how our day is going to go, how we're going to get from A to B. And I believe it's our mind trying to protect us, right? Trying to solve problems, trying to create a narrative that makes sense, help us make sense of the world. So the intention with this video is to say, let's recognize, let's recognize, let's relearn, right, that it is a possibility to be fully present and not be caught up in thinking all the time. And then with awareness comes choice. So then we can choose, okay, in this moment I want to be fully present. In this moment I want to think and plan ahead my day. So it actually serves us, right? So not to be, washing the dishes and caught up in thinking about the rest of our day that we accidentally dropped the plate in the sink. Or to be talking to a friend, spending, quality time with a friend, and rather than truly being present and allowing what they say to kind of to just be, us thinking about what they're saying, us thinking about what we're gonna say next, us thinking about the fact that we're thinking, right? So to have that kind of freedom, right? With awareness comes choice. To have that freedom to be like, okay, I'm fully present now. And not only that, not only relearning that being present is a possibility and that we are not the little voice in our heads all the time. We're not the little voice in our heads and we don't need to be thinking all the time. But to relearn how to be comfortable to be present. How to really feel, tell the body, mind, and spirit that it is safe to be present and it is safe to not be, ruminating over the past and imagining the future. That we're not missing out on anything by being present. And so how do we, reteach ourselves that it is safe to be fully present when it's not the state that the mind and the body is comfortable being in, because we're not used to it in the society that we live in. I believe that it comes with practice, which we'll get to in a moment, and also through deep breathing while you're being present, kind of relaxing, returning to the relaxed, the safe and secure state of the nervous system when you're being present, to tell the body, hey, that it is safe. And speaking about that now, I've actually created a guided meditation on this very topic of presence, how it's the gateway to being, and to feel safe in the present moment using these breathing techniques that I just talked about. So if you're interested in that, I'll put a link here. I don't know how this works. So if that interests you, if you have time now, feel free to watch the guided meditation right after this video or whenever you get the chance. Okay, so the next thing that I just want to talk about is how presence and thinking is like a muscle, right? What one does consistently is what one will get better at. And not only better, it's what we do consistently is the state that our mind and body will be comfortable in. And so just like thinking is a muscle that's gotten really strong, or a habit, or a place that the mind feels safe to kind of go to, presence can also become a habit and the kind of default state that the mind feels, and the body, the being, feels more comfortable accepting, I guess. So yeah, with that said, what are some practical tips, practical ways that we can remind ourselves to come back to the present moment? So for that, let's understand the difference between a cue and an anchor. So a cue is kind of like the time of the day, or like an event, a daily habit that happens every day that you can kind of use as a time to be fully present. So whether it's having breakfast, having lunch, or washing the dishes, something that you do every day that can be a reminder, a time for yourself to be fully present. And an anchor is kind of the thing that we help use to return to the present moment, or to focus on as a way to help us become more present. So common anchors are like the breath, for example, or what you hear around you, what you smell, what you see, what you taste, what you feel. So feel free to pause this video and choose an anchor and a cue that would work for you. Another way is through meditation. So again, if you want to do the meditation on this topic, feel free. And the more and more that we build this habit of presence, the more present we can show up in our daily lives, and the more we can appreciate both the small things and the big things. And I understand that this is all easier said than done, right? We don't live in a society where it's really easy to be present, with a lot of distractions that we have readily available to us all the time. So the fact that you have watched this video all the way here shows that you are open to intentionally wanting to be more present. And I think it's a big first step in becoming more conscious ourselves, and as a result contributing to a more conscious world around us. So feel free to share this video with someone that you think would enjoy it, someone you love. And please do comment below, what parts resonated with you, what parts didn't, what parts were understandable, what parts were kind of not very clear. what anchors and cues would be, easy for you to use in your daily lives, or what you plan to use as ways to remind us to come back to the present moment, to relax back into presence. And yeah, thank you for watching, and there's lots more to come on this channel, so stay tuned. From love, Jana.